Hello and welcome to the second to last session of Magic County Chronicles. Ooh la la. Je suis Don Masterone, your dungeon master for the night. Also, you can read that Don Masterone translates to DM because I am smart like that. But before getting into the eat of things, I would like you, my awesome players, to introduce your characters once again. Becky, since I mistreated you last time, and I'm still sorry about that, would you mind introducing your character first?
Oh, look, babe, it's that guy that speaks his native language. Hello, I am Bish Bash Bosh. What am I? Oh, I'm a farmer, and now I'm an adventurer. Oh, does that make me two things? Am I two people? I don't think so. But that's me.
You may be even three if they erased your memory, or four
Oh
or
my
five.
God. I could be lots of people, couldn't I? And I would never know, because if my memory's been wiped, how would I remember? Like, I could
Exactly.
have 20 of me running around out there and I'd never know. What if it's more than
Well,
20?
that's food for thought. Now, Ronnie, would you mind introducing your character, please?
Yeah, I'm Talafel Shadowstar. I'm the main star of this one. I'm a crossbow wielding sort of eco warrior sort of guy who's got a sideline in bounty hunting because that's what I like to do and I really enjoy it. And getting them all beaten up and then sending them off is bloody brilliant. You know that is great.
I almost got everything you said, but the last sentence.
Balls.
I count that as a win. I count that as a win. I don't care.
Balls. I actually said to Jason, I said I want to see if I can actually get confuse Giorgio for 3 weeks running with my intro. Darn.
No, you spoke way slower than last time.
Well, you mean usually
So,
I talk like this and really get into it and really like that?
There were
exactly.
just noises. You weren't saying anything. You're not gonna fool me like that.
No, I was actually using words. I was speaking in full phonetic English, just very fast.
All right. Then I take a DL here. How
Moving
about your character,
as
Phil?
swiftly on as swiftly as it's possible to move on. Let's do so.
Yes, I'm playing Dash, who's a half-orc paladin, very pickled, very partial to a pickled sow's ear, trying to champion the little person in this strange world full of
Oh,
Bish,
thank
Bash, and Bosh.
you.
Perhaps there's three of you, Bish, Bash, and Bosh.
I just think it's wonderful. I have a champion for little people like me.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Jason.
I'm Tamond Miritar, half elf, slowly going insane. And we haven't even reached the lake yet. Or the bugbears. And I have these people to deal with.
You know, bugbears, you know bears. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't want to have bugbears down there because they're too bloody small, you know.
Part of me wonders if toiling to try and learn some sort of magic back at home was the easier option.
Than dealing with your current party, you say.
Yes. Because even though it is pretty much impossible for me to cast magic, I would still do better.
Oh, have you tried having sorcerer's blood? And you could inherit it in your blood.
Yes, I do have sorcerer's blood.
Well, there you go. You could be a magician.
Magician.
I've kind of already dealt with all this in my extensive backstory. And it lasted years of my life.
Awesome. So next time we're in trouble, why not, I don't know, maybe try casting one of your spells?
Because I bloody can't. That's
But
why
you
I'm
have-
here and not back at home.
But you have sorcerer's blood.
I know I do. I'm what you would call an anomaly.
No, I call you Tamond.
That was signposted, that one. With full
know.
directions.
If I could cast a spell right now, I totally would. However, I can't.
And
Would
maybe
that be-
cast silence on Bish Bash Bosh.
Indeed, that would definitely be the first thing I would cast.
I was just wondering, and how quickly would teleport self come into the picture?
That's two.
So, as a collective summary of last week's session, what happened beside my fuck up as a DM?
We came, we saw, we kicked house.
You also
what
got
start-
your ass handed to you in various
Right?
forms.
No,
It was quite
right,
the opposite.
right.
Yes.
No. What it was we were looking. We were lulling them into a true sense of security, and then we turned it round on them. It was a masterful piece of strategy.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
Yeah. Did we have to wait for so long? Because some of us got hurt.
Very hurt.
I also believe that actually Thalathol was trying to give a Valzer masterclass, given the amount of miss that he had.
I was merely just getting my eye in, and when it did happen, by God, did it happen?
True.
Let's be fair. I just needed to get
Right.
my eye in.
So basically, what happened is that you saw a platoon of orcs that were actually just trying to give you riddles after trying to hold you prisoners. Shit hit the fan, and you murdered a lot of them. And if I recall correctly, someone of you took a souvenir, a memento of this second encounter. Didn't you take the sword?
No, they kept telling me to take the sword, and I kept saying, no, this is a sword of orcish design, and it's not very good. I'm going
And I
to
have
get
to
a
say-
real sword.
And I have to say, we did murder in self-defense.
I beg your pardon?
We murdered in self-defense.
Yeah, kind of.
I can just see all the formulas around Giorgio's head.
Kinda, yes, kinda.
I mean,
You know.
like, if you hadn't have fucked up, it wouldn't have been self-defense, but you did, so it was.
That is what you would call mental gymnastics.
Yeah, and Talathal's very good at mental gymnastics.
He certainly is.
But don't you have to do gymnastics by doing things with your body?
Well, I did eventually. I mean, I would say that the orc that I dispatched was actually suicidal because he had more than enough chances to get the fuck away, and he still stayed there. So, as far as I'm concerned, his death is entirely self-inflicted.
And if it is mental gymnastics, do you still need a leotard?
I don't know how to answer that question.
I don't want to know about gnome gymnastics in leotards.
And perhaps we should press on.
Also, hello, Steve.
Oh, hi, Steve.
Hey there, Steve.
Yes. Hello, Steve.
Thank you for tuning in once again.
Talking to Bish Bash Boss's cousin, Crash Bang Waller. You'd think it's just me that comes up with this shit.
I can see where
I got a whole
from.
I got a whole load of friends who are more than capable of bringing up the slack if I don't do bad puns.
I'll take your word for it.
All right.
Yes, I
so
agree with
beautiful,
Son.
beautiful adventurers. What's your plan now?
Are we going to a cave with a lake
Yep.
in it that's got a hole?
Yep.
A hole in a hole.
And we were going to. Did we actually write down notes to ourselves for later on, just in case or not? I can't remember if we did
Yes.
that or not. We did.
Yes.
You thought
Yes.
you said you would,
Yes.
in case
we-
your mind would be erased or rewritten or whatever, just in
Yeah.
case.
Under numerous stones in the vicinity of the cave entrance.
and also amongst our personal effects on the pack horse, on the horse as well.
Yes. What we haven't done, though, is we haven't checked to see if there are any notes already in there from last time we did this.
Oh, we would have packed, so I'm sure we would have come across them.
But would we? Like, have we actually pulled everything out and looked? I think we should. Just in case. I'm going to start. I start
Well
unpacking the horse.
volunteered.
Are you guys there yet? Still, sorry, because my headphones
Yes.
are acting up,
Yeah, we
so
are
I'm not
here,
sure.
yes.
We're here.
Still
All right.
in my body.
We're here. We're
All right. So I heard
Yeah.
about checking if someone was still there, but I didn't get what.
I am unpacking the pack horse to see if our previous incarnations of ourselves, should they exist, have left ourselves any notes.
No, there are no notes beside what
Didn't
you
even-
written since the leaving of Magic County, Phantasopoulos.
Never mind. It was
Okay,
a good
guys,
try.
I got everything out the pack horse, but wherever we left our notes last time, it wasn't in here. So maybe we had a different idea last time. We'll have to check all the trees.
Today's session of Magic County is sponsored by Christopher Nolan.
You know, there are some. I mean, we are all DMs or keepers or whatever. There is always that time where you write things down and you say, "Oh, that's perfectly fine. What bad could happen out of that?" So I wrote down, people came back from the lake with their memory erased, not thinking that this simple sentence would go sideways somehow.
Let me
This much.
impart one pearl of wisdom. It is always the most innocent of possibilities and sentences that end up tripping you up.
Yep.
Always.
True, mate. True. So,
Everybody is
are you
showing-
really checking for the woods, for the trees?
Under every rock.
I'm just letting Bish Bash Bosh do it.
Yeah, I'm let her get on with it. We're going to try and make some headway.
We're never going to get there otherwise.
Yeah.
I waste a considerable amount of time.
We're going
And
to
the party
die of
has to keep waiting
starvation
for me.
otherwise.
All right. So you start to lift and look every stone and every tree in the surrounding area. But the more you go further, the more things to uncover you see. And It is about 4 hours now that you've been looking at trees and rocks, while your party mates are packing back the horse that you unpacked and then are trying to leave to their final destination.
What if we put the notes on a rope around a badger's head?
That is
Why?
very specific.
Just why? Can I ask this question
Well,
realistically
we'd
now?
have to put it somewhere where the enemy wouldn't find it.
I'm more curious as to how we managed to let the badger comply.
Well, it probably didn't, but if we'd have trapped a badger, we could have then done it and hoped that we'd trap the same badger when we came back. And this would be like a really cunning ploy, because the enemy won't be trying to trap badgers. They'll be looking under rocks and in trees.
You are making some
To the
very
cave!
claims. Let us carry on, please.
We need to go to the cave, and get right down to it, because we got to find this lake, and
Yes,
find
let's
the old hole,
Let's go to or back to the cave, whichever is most appropriate when we discover if we've been there before or not.
Yeah, we don't want to find part of the hole. We don't want to find half the hole. We want to find the whole hole. So we want to get in there.
Oh, God, please save me from this.
All right. So I got porridge now instead of a brain. Thank you, Ryan. But
You've
moving
got
forward.
I've got guacamole.
But
Okay.
moving forward, it's about the end of the day when Gary asks for the map again, looks at it and says, "Oh, all right, we are almost there. We can push it, but
So
we will get to the cave in the middle of the night, or we can sleep and then resume tomorrow morning, and it will be around 4 hours of walking again."
I think we should rest up. I'd like to kind of hit that cave when we're rested, but don't want us having had a day's travel, go in there fresh,
A night of rest will probably do our spellcasters good too. And I could use a rest.
No meta at all. No meta at all.
She's not going to let this go.
I'm sort of angling to getting it all over with.
Yeah,
But let what go. I'm not holding anything.
I mean, interestingly, out of character, I could potentially mimic casting a spell with my very good deception skills.
Yeah, you mimic the spell, but nothing happens.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but anticipating
So,
to scare Bish Bash Bosh.
Well, I don't understand.
You've got to discover which spell it was now.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's the same spell he used last time, and he wrote the name of it round the badger's neck.
Well, how do we know that? We haven't found the note on the badger yet.
I'm taking a guess because that's what I would have done.
And why would we have chosen a badger? That's a stupid choice. My character is suddenly looking at all these loose rocks these rocks have now been loosened because Bish Bash Boss has been lifting them up, and suddenly wondering if
colonies of ants are escaping from underneath them.
Yeah, and we have left a nice trail if anyone wanted to follow us.
Indeed. That too. Part of me
Can I just
does
say
want
that
to
I love
approach
every one of you for making this patch campaign so entertaining.
Patch
Sorry, before I have to interrupt you again so you can make a full sentence, Jason. If when you rest, your character regains hit points equal to their constitution modifier, minimum 1, multiplied by their level. So if some of you has still some hit points missing, basically you get your constitution modifier back. Minimum 1. So
Okay.
I'm sorry, what you're saying, Jason?
Well, part of me is inclined to go at night as well because more cover, potentially the things, if they're there, are going to be asleep.
I don't know if you noticed this, but you know this drunken cleric we're traveling with, he used all his spells up, and you know the paladin that we're traveling with, he used all his spells up, and you keep claiming you can't cast any, even though you're an elf.
Half elf. Oh yes, that's right. The religious people have to sleep or something, don't they, in order for their god to
It's
give
in the Idiot's Guide to
grant them their
Adventuring.
abilities back, don't they? Yes.
Mhm.
I never quite understood.
Because I like to think that my god sleeps only when I sleep. So if she's not rested up, she can't give me magic. So I have to sleep so she can sleep so she can give me magic the next day.
Yeah, there's only one problem with that.
Yes.
You won't be the only person that prays to your god. So what if someone else sleeps at a different time of the day from you, and they get that means that she's got to be sleeping when they're sleeping as well. And
Not
what
if
if
she's
someone
always
else?
asleep.
Well, if she's always asleep, then she can't be awake to give you. It's a bit of an ethical and spiritual conundrum. You see.
What if it's micro
A con what?
sleeps?
Conundrum, a puzzle.
Oh, I
A
thought it was
riddle.
like a monster.
I mean, you could have said puzzle.
Paradox.
So,
He
who
chose
watches?
not.
So, your god doesn't watch over you when you're sleeping. Then
That's okay,
hope
I'll
not.
stand guard.
I don't want my god watching over me while I sleep.
Yeah, me neither.
you don't want to be safe when you sleep. That's interesting.
It's not that. It's God knows what I'm doing at night. I don't want my god seeing it.
Thing is, I
You
know
better-
that you can learn magic from reading books and researching. It is possible. So perhaps I will do that one day when I have more time on my hands and not go into underground lakes.
I usually imagine my god naked.
Well, I wasn't expecting to hear that.
Well, 'cause clothes are unclean.
Can I also add to my list of pros for going at night? That way, if we go now, I won't get any nightmares.
That is an interesting concept.
So I'll take first and second watch.
To be honest, the idea of going there at night, just pushing on and getting it over with sounds good. But to be honest, we've had a long day's journey. We've been involved in an altercation earlier in the day. I think we need the rest and hit this place in the morning.
Very well.
Okay. That's the vote. And no watching for badgers. Watch
No.
for enemies. And not enemy badgers either.
Just don't give her ideas. Just don't give her any ideas.
So Bish Bash Bosh is taking the first 2 rounds.
I will take the first watch with her. So I didn't do any of the watches last time, so I think it's only fair.
I'll wake you up for the third watch.
No, I'll do the first watch. I'm up for this, you know.
Well, then I'll go to sleep in the first watch.
Yeah, go on then. Go on then. I'll kick you awake in about 3 hours. Come on.
Okay.
I love the fact that I get to kick her awake and she's happy with it. That's what we like to see. Team spirit.
Well, yes, it's one of the strategies mentioned in the Idiot's Guide to Adventuring that I read. To wake up a party member quickly and in a hurry, you can kick them.
Yeah.
You can also
Big-
pour cold water on them, shake them, but you shouldn't shout because that can attract more monsters.
I would love to meet this author of this book one day.
Yeah. In a dark alley.
Hmm. Indeed.
So Falafel is doing the first round. Bish Bash Bosh is getting woken up with kicking to the head for the second.
I never said kicking to the head.
I mean,
I-
we all
I-
know
I-
where this is going.
In all honesty, in all reality, she will be nudged awake at the end of the shift. I'm not kicking her. I'm
Right.
nudged awake. There's really none of this.
So who's doing the third?
I suppose I can do the third.
Right.
Okay. I'll finish off the last one. then.
I'll do a double shift and then Taman could do the third because you've got spells.
Very true. Yes.
What's funny?
I'm not laughing in character. At the moment,
It says in the Idiot's Guide to Adventuring, always be kind to your healers. And if you are a healer, be good to yourself.
Wise words indeed.
Are you good to yourself, Darash? Do you have nice hot baths once a week?
I do try, but there's not always one available. He says, looking around himself. Maybe a stream or river, maybe.
I rather assume that you just lay on ends on yourself every night.
You better sleep next to Bish Bash Bosh.
Right, yeah, so I'm taking first watch.
All right. So let's see.
I have a crossbow. There's one bolt in it ready. I have my sword out of its scabbard beside me. So if anything happens, I can lift it quickly without having to draw.
But you're in luck though, because nothing happens in your turn, in your round.
Okay, well in that case, I will shake Bish Bash Boss's shoulder and just, your turn, mate. And I go off to sleep.
Yay! I love this bit. And I sit on a log and watch.
Actually, Gary is not accounted for when the watch period starts or has to be planned, because even the other time he didn't have a watch period to answer your question, Steve. But let's see if Bish Bash Bosh can see something. Ooh. Bosh, roll perception, please.
Nope, stay on the table.
How much is it?
8. I mean, I rolled a 2.
Well,
It was
you
never
got
gonna
a
be
plus
good.
6. You got a plus 6, so that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
But you also get 2 points of damage to your arse.
Ow.
Ow!
It's
Why
that
would you
badger.
do that?
Yeah, exactly. It's the badger.
It's the badger. He's
Teach you to tie things around my neck.
You look behind you, and what you see, it's not a badger. It's actually a fox.
Oh, well.
what the
Okay,
fox is that?
I hit it.
Roll to it.
Just wondering whether to go into Berserker Rage first, but I don't think that's necessary. I roll a 14.
Let me check really briefly. Really briefly. What page is it? I don't recall. Fuck shit. All right. 14, you said. All right.
Mhm.
So that doesn't hit because you see your wooden sword slamming into the ground, but the fox jumps to its right and then just wanders off. But you see something laying on the floor where the fox was standing before.
Oh, what's that?
That's a little bit of a log, a piece of log that you imagine could be hanging from his neck.
I pick it up and take it to the fire and have a look.
Are you for real?
On this log, you can read, "How dumb could you be to write some vital info on a piece of log and give it to a fox?" Signed, Gary.
You brought this on yourselves.
Not bringing it on me at all. I'm asleep.
It's true, we have been here before. I found a message. We just have to interpret it.
Yep.
Oh, I can't
What's
wait
on
for
his
the others
tails?
to wake up
Truth.
and tell them this.
See, here's another great tip from the GM from the idiot's guide to GMing. Be careful when you feed the monster. Sometimes it goes
Especially if
away,
Becky is a
and
player.
sometimes the monster goes away. Sometimes it just gets bigger.
Yeah.
It's like a sea
Don't
monkey.
you,
Just grows.
don't you worry about that.
Oh, I'm so excited and happy. I'm kind of bouncing for the rest of my shift now.
'Cause that'll be
All
great
right.
to see.
After this, nothing happens for the rest of your shift, of your round.
Mm-hmm.
So you should wake up Taymond.
Yeah, I go and do that.
Do you say anything to each other?
Well, obviously, I kind of get up and what is that?
I was shaking you awake.
Oh, right. Sorry, my eyes are taking a bit of time to adjust to the low light.
I know. That's what happens when you wake up. Sorry, you're excited.
Are you going to be able to sleep if you're that excited?
Probably not, but I'll try.
You could just carry on if you want.
You see me clutching a log.
What have you got there?
You'll see in the morning. I'll show everyone at once. It'll be
Oh.
brilliant.
Don't make me wait so long. The suspense will kill me.
Okay. Right. Have a look. I found a message from our past selves. It's a riddle and we have to decode it.
Well, it is signed Gary rather than all of us. And he did say he'd lost his memory, so surely this is just him. Huh. He did have a sense of humor in his past life, I must say.
But what if we were with him and we just don't remember?
Maybe, but there's no evidence, and I just sort of
Well, there
toss
is.
it away like a frisbee.
No, that's the evidence there.
You actually got one evidence that states otherwise.
We've got a log.
Yes, you got the log that is signed by Gary, and that's all. But the fish people didn't recognize Taman and Talathol.
I never met the fish people.
Yeah, but they did. And they
Yeah.
also just remembered
never met the
about
fish
an
people.
halfling.
Yeah, but
No, you did
Bish
not.
Bash,
From her
but Bish
point of
Bash,
view.
Bish Bash Bosh didn't see him, so their
Thank God for that.
non-recognition is relevant for her.
Yeah, and also like even just meta here for a moment. If I had like the fact that one character hasn't seen them means that in the past they may not have seen them too. Therefore, they're not the most observant fish.
Yeah. I was saying, generally speaking.
Didn't you say they had a poor memory?
That too. They also had their memory wiped.
Go back to sleep, Darash. You're not awake.
Anyway, get my log, and I'm going to go to sleep clutching my log.
Okay, whatever helps you. And I get out my short bow and sit and obviously do my watch.
Ooh, shit.
Oh, good.
All
You
right.
give it to the
Nothing
badger.
happens in. No, nothing happens in your round. I was saying shit because the die was rolling off the table under the sofa. So, yeah. Well, nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Right,
That's
well, I'll
good. It
go
means
and wake up Darash.
means we've got a good restful. We've had a good restful night.
All right. So, last shift.
Sorry?
So, what did you say, Becky? Sorry.
Sorry, doesn't matter. Does not matter. Carry on.
Okay. What is it? Yeah. Same result as before. Nothing happens in your round either, Darash.
Okay.
The only lucky one was Bish Bash Bosh this night.
So
I'm
I'll
I'm
make sure
actually-
sorry, carry on.
No, on you go.
I was going to say, I'll make sure the fire is all stoked up and ready for getting breakfast.
Is again pickled pig's ears.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sow's ears, they're the best.
yeah.
The best.
No, I was going to say I'm kind of glad there wasn't any sort of major incident last night, because the whole point of us resting was so that we would get to this cave fresh. If we'd had any sort of major incident last night, it would have kind of defeated the purpose.
Well, I think Bish Bash Bosh will argue otherwise.
Getting foxed in the ass is not the same as a major incident.
What I want to know is, what did the fox say?
It says, how dumb could you be to put a note on a badger? But it was on a fox.
Oh yes, Gary, I think you may have written this.
A secret note
Me?
from our past selves. Yes, look.
No, just Gary. Not the rest of us, just him.
Oh, I haven't found your fox yet.
I hate to break this to you, but that's not my handwriting.
Ah.
So what you're saying is that that's someone else's log entry.
Don't you laugh.
It's not a
Don't
log
acknowledge
entry,
him.
it's a log message.
Absolutely. That was fucking sitting there waiting to be said.
You see the soul leaving the body. All right.
Would it be your handwriting, though, if you had to chisel it? Is it chiseled? How's it written?
It is written in ink.
In ink.
Yeah, with like a big, thick brush.
Ah.
Hmm.
So either there's somebody else called Gary. Or,
Yeah, I mean, that's not that uncommon of a name.
Yeah, but another Gary that has lost its memory in this wood.
or your handwriting has changed considerably over the years.
Or after my memory was wiped.
You forgot what your handwriting was. So you had to relearn.
Yeah, so I had to make another one.
You put a message on a badger, as we predicted, and somebody found it and sent you this message back. How dumb could you be to put a message to yourself on a
Wait.
badger, Gary?
Wait. Or somebody has overheard our extremely loud conversation en route and is trying to confuse us.
They're doing a damn good job.
What if I wrote this log and gave it to a badger? Then the badger met the fox. They had a fight. The fox won. So as a prize, he took the log. Like a medal or a belt.
So this pickled sow's ear is it's growing on me, Darash, I must say.
Yes, and have another.
Yes, I think I will. I kind of wish that we brought more wine now. I could really do with some, and it's not even noon yet.
Isn't it weird that every time we are having an intelligent conversation, bish bash bosh, all of a sudden they change the topic?
Yeah, I don't think
I
they
just
can
can't.
keep up with us.
I can't comprehend your sheer complex levels of philosophical thinking and thought processing.
It's not that.
I
We're
don't
just
know
waiting.
what half of those words meant, but I agree.
It's all right. It's all right. We're just writing the sequel to Inception as we're going along here.
By the way, Nolan, you're welcome. If you're watching the stream, you're so welcome.
Exactly. You know, just a little mention when you do the sequel. Just mention our names. A little backhand for the money, just for the idea of it. Story concept buy. A couple of million will suffice. We're not greedy.
No. We cherish the little things, like a couple of billions, exactly. So, any plans before leaving this morning? Beside having breakfast?
I was going to have a shit as well, but I don't know if that determines or constitutes a plan. Is that not just a statement of intent, or do you just gloss over it?
I mean, you could put that under the staying in shape for a fight tests.
Well, no, I mean,
So that's part of a
Is there a
plan.
dice roll for it?
saying you're going for a shit is a statement of intent. Deciding where you're going, whether you're going to hide behind a tree or a bush or anything like that, that's a plan.
If you're going to wipe with what?
Shit, please.
So is that a survival check?
No, I actually did have something in mind that wasn't going for a shit.
Yeah, we can skip that, Becky.
Okay.
This may be completely, wild goose chase or probably a wild fox chase, but I wouldn't mind just sort of scouting the area and seeing if I can locate their burrow.
Tame ones, you're not buying into this story, are you now? Those pickle sows eaters haven't fermented a bit, surely.
Well,
Yes, that must be what it is.
look, we found it. This was found on a fox. Now, whether it's a message from ourselves or someone else, we haven't established. Although it is consistent with our plan to leave ourselves messages on badgers. Just maybe we couldn't find a badger. Maybe that's why this message from Gary in somebody else's handwriting. Maybe it was one of us trolling Gary. Whose handwriting is this? Is this one of ours? I don't know. I've never written anything in a big thick brush before, so I wouldn't know what my handwriting looks like with a big thick brush.
Certainly not my handwriting.
Let's go and look for that burrow.
Yeah, let's take a walk.
Let's
It's mainly just to see if there's any
George,
other writing nearby.
George has finally realised that what he thought was a 4-hour campaign has been stretched to a 12-hour one with all of this.
Are you sure it's
Very
2 sessions to go?
Thinly spread with butter.
We can stretch this yet.
We haven't had breakfast yet.
Well, actually, you managed to skip a whole session. So, I mean, this is going rather nice. Given what I planned beforehand. But you're going to look for some sort of barrow,
Yes,
you're
burrow.
saying? Burrow.
A fox den.
Yeah.
Right. All right, so please give me a survival check, whoever is going.
Survival.
I imagine you're a bit better than me.
Not in survival, I'm not.
I've got a +2, so.
I've
Why
got
don't we all just spend half an hour looking?
I rolled a straight 17.
Survival. I can do a survival roll.
I circled the camp very close.
Never mind, 21.
Right,
I rolled
I
19 on the dice again.
will do my survival roll next game.
Next game, all right. When we resume Call of Cthulhu, the first roll you're going to make will be a survival check.
Just but I have a feeling. I've got a feeling that'll be a roll most of us will want to make in Cthulhu. Can we survive, please? Please.
All right, so given your rolls, a 17 and a 21, you're able to locate this fox den just a couple of yards away from where you set camp for the night.
Oh, wow, okay,
It's-
super close.
Yeah, it's not that hard, to find, because it's being dug under the roots of an oak tree. And it is rather big compared to what would you imagine a fox den to be. Are you going to do anything in particular, or going to stretch your arm in?
Is it gnome size?
No, you could say it's a couple of fox size. It's not for anything humanoid to fit into, other than just buried.
I'm not going to stick my bare hand in because that's an accident waiting to happen, but I will find a large stick and just kind of slowly insert it.
You insert it, and you hear a noise that could be ascribed to wood knocking on wood.
As in from my stick.
Yeah, from your stick to something
Yeah.
It's another
and
message.
in
Tree root?
the barrow.
Okay. I don't put my head all the way in, but hopefully I should be able to
Look,
see a little bit in
Right,
there.
let
against
me
the
do
light.
it. I have an armored gauntlet I bought. And I'll stick my armored gauntlet hand down there.
Surely
and
you're
pull the
not
wood
going
out.
to be able to reach.
Yeah, she actually is, because it's not that far into the barrow. if I had to quantify that, you could say it's about a gnomish arm deep into the barrow.
Yeah,
Alright.
I'll reach in with my gauntleted hand and pull out the wood if it's loose.
So you're actually just about to reach it with the tips of your fingers, that you can retrieve this other wooden board that says, "For real, signed Don Mastarone."
We must have had a friend who died called Don Mastarone, but we've forgotten him. All the evidence now points to it.
Here
I start
lies.
looking for a large broken wall somewhere.
I thought you were about to say that we're looking for the large broken spirit of Don Mastarone. And just to answer Stephen's comment, no, Stephen, in Call of Cthulhu, survival is not
Overrated.
overrated. It's overpriced. It's too expensive to afford.
Thank God Pranis says it and didn't have to spend any points in it. So, otherwise, 0 survival always every character I make. So, getting back to Magic County Chronicles, that's basically everything else you get to find in this barrow. No fox, no sign
Okay,
of fox.
DM. We understand.
It was a joke, I'm sorry. I only meant this as a joke.
All right.
Like this whole campaign, mainly.
Yes.
A fucking joke.
Well,
So,
we're going to try and find a hole in water. Yeah.
I wonder
Tamon's
what
gonna
he was
head back to the
like.
camp.
I'm sorry?
Who?
I wonder what he was like.
What, Don Mastarone?
Yeah. I mean, he was obviously a friend.
Accordingly to what is told in between the legends of Magic County Chronicles, Don Mastarone was actually an Italian-ass bitch who tried to be a DM for his friends, throwing jokes here and there sometimes, and having said jokes derail his campaign that was supposed to last about 6 sessions.
And you realized very quickly that you gave a running start to 4 people who are capable of taking any situation and finding a humorous subplot in it.
I'm taking an
And
extra
that's the
3
most
weeks,
amazing
yeah.
part, to be honest.
I do have lore in heraldry. Can I find out more about this Don Mastarone? No, I'm joking.
That's an educated hand.
Right,
I'm
enough
sorry.
of you and your
Wow.
nighttime persuasions, Darish.
So we must have been friends with an Italian-ass bitch.
Oh, so it's a dog, not a badger.
That's why it was wood. It was to indicate the bark.
Oh.
That's why. Now we know it all.
Yes, you see the plan now is to take so long getting to the cave. The Elbows would have died of old age. We just pick the ring up and leave.
We weren't supposed to tell him the plan yet.
Anyway, Taman goes back to the campsite to retrieve the plot.
All right, so you're able to retrieve all your shit and all your plot from the
I
camp.
don't want to take the shit with us. Leave it there.
That was so foolish of me.
Yeah,
But-
that was a rookie error.
Yeah. I imagine you get on your way. Please.
Says Giorgio, please stop getting in the way. Just go that way, please.
This is going to roll out so good, the bit I wrote for you tonight. But you get on your way, you start walking. No, but you're going there. Hopefully. You're going in the general direction that Gary is providing you on the map. Is that correct?
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it's we're in all seriousness. I mean, we're you know, we want to make our sort of best speed, but without pushing ourselves. Because again, we don't know what we're going to find in this cave, so we want to get there as fresh as possible.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not that necessary to push your walking or marching speed, because as Gary told you the night before, it takes you about 3 hours to actually get to the entrance of a cave that he recognized to be the cave, the actual cave. Bless you. On a side of said entrance, you see a big panel of wood saying for the main quest, and then an arrow that points in the cave.
Is it in the same
For
handwriting?
the main quest, it's some kind of riddle.
That's not the same handwriting that on the other logs came on to answer
Giorgio,
your
oh
question.
God, no, please. We're now going to argue about the very obvious signpost.
I mean, are we supposed to do 1, 2, and 3 the main quest first? Are we just jumping in here to chapter 4?
Whoever wrote the sign must have thought that we were ready to do that.
Well,
they think that we are capable.
But there's no evidence to suggest that. It's like 4, the main quest. But there should be a 1, 2, and a 3.
In the words of the great philosophers Halloween, we shall follow the sign.
No help, I'm not bright enough to spell.
Also,
I literally wrote on my character sheet, Barbie Airheadian.
Also, maybe before your mind was wiped, if wiped, you may have done the prologue already. Maybe you jumped to chapter 3, your mind was erased because you did it in the wrong order.
There's an existential thought being put into my head that because we're repeating this, we're actually okay to jump to the end first. Because we've already done the beginning.
Absolutely.
I don't know where I got that idea from. It might have been, you know what, whatever the voice was, it had a sense of frustration.
Still, it may be worth not speaking so loudly as we get closer, eh?
Not speaking so loudly?
Yes, did it not say in the Idiot's Guide to Adventuring, when you get into a dangerous area, we shut the fuck up?
No, we already shot the fox up.
Oh, yes. How silly.
No, it ran away.
We still quietened it.
Yeah, it's probably in a box or a page adventuring.
The question we need to ask, we need to do a serious thought here. Are we going to follow the very obviously suspicious sign that says, please go that way? Or are we going to suspect it's a trap and go a different way?
It's definitely a trap. We should look for a rear entrance.
See, Giorgio said...
I so want to call for a break of about a couple of months.
Oh, yeah. This is supposed to be a relaxing bit before the intense stuff.
Georgia's sitting there and going,
Yes,
you know, if Georgia's sitting there going, you know, it was just meant to be an innocent sign to get them back on the trail and into the scenario, and I just can't even get signs done now.
exactly.
Let's go in the hole.
I get at my bow.
Yeah. Crossbow out already has a, because it takes this one takes a whole round to reload a crossbow, doesn't it?
That's
If I
crossbow
recall
fun.
correctly, that's an action to reload.
Well,
your
that's not
crossbow.
bad.
Is it either an action or two actions? Just let me double check.
Because we got 3 actions around, don't we?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I could fire and reload in one round.
Yes.
Oh, that's not so bad then. I always keep thinking of stirrup crossbows where you just spend a whole fucking turn.
Yeah. Reload.
swing
That's
back.
an action. That's one action.
Right, so I can fire and then reload and then fire the next round and reload and that's all right. It's not so bad.
Yeah. So basically, you don't lose actions just to reload. That's
Good.
cool. By the way, I don't recall if I already sent you the link that I sent you now, but basically it has everything that's been published for Pathfinder 2nd edition divided by keywords. So it's easier for you to look into stuff beside scrolling the PDF, trying to recall where stuff was written.
Okay.
So, are you getting into the not suspicious
yes.
at all tunnel? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do
For your
that.
sanity, yes. We will do the plot straight after this commercial break.
Yeah, I was about to call for an actual break, but I wanted to give you a little bit of description first.
Okay.
So basically, you enter this tunnel that you see is starting to getting tighter and tighter as you keep walking inside of this hill or mountain or whatever it is. You didn't have a clear vision of what you are heading actually into. At some point, you even have to crawl on your stomach in order to get to the other side of this tunnel. And what you see on the other side is a full village with houses, towers, churches, and a municipal hall, you may assume. But what is strange about this place is that the water is flowing what you understand is upwards. You see a fountain in the main square where the water, instead of going out and then coming back down, just goes straight up into the sky, making some sort of a stream rather than a river under the ground. Everything is under the ground.
Okay, I turn to Darash at this point and I say, right, that is the last time we ever take food from strangers. Because I'm hallucinating all kinds of shit just now.
Well, I don't think you are. I think we can all see that.
Yeah, but we all fucking ate it, didn't we?
Be there.
Yeah, we're not all going to get the same hallucination, surely. That's not how it works.
All ate what? I've been on my rations the whole time. I don't like sow's ears.
There we
No,
go.
not the sow's ears. Not the sow's ears. That's Darash's snack. No, that's stuff we got from the fish.
Yes, but it was only us two who ate it. We didn't give it to other people.
I swear you imagined the fish people. I never saw them.
Well, I
right
imagine
into-
about 30 seconds after we left, he didn't see us either.
That is a rather fascinating phenomenon. I wonder how it's
Yeah.
doing it.
Well, you'd know if you actually learnt your magic.
I can't learn the theory of magic. I just can't cast it.
Do you think it's natural or a magic phenomenon?
Well,
Well,
I think the
I
answer to that is obvious, isn't it?
I
I'm sorry, Becky, but I have actual problems and hearing sometimes what you're
Oh.
saying, so I didn't get what you said. I'm sorry.
I think the answer to that is obvious, isn't it, Darash? It's unknown.
Yes, I'm neglecting the third option, obviously.
I was wondering where you were going to go with that, and I'm like, oh god. Oh,
Perhaps
right.
we should go and ask them then.
Well, clearly not. They'll wipe our memory. We just need to find the hole in the owlbear and get out of here.
So when
Whatever
you
would be the-
decide whether to, sorry, Becky.
Whatever we do, it has to be the second thing we think of as the most obvious thing to do, not the first. Because if we do the first most obvious thing, we'll make the same traps errors that we made last time.
yeah, unless we've been here even more than once, in which case we've already done the first and second most obvious things, and maybe it's the third one we need to do.
don't start. We are not going there again.
So meanwhile, you decide whether to do the first, the second, or the third thing coming to your mind. I will call for a 10-minute break, so
Okay.
then we can resume this session.
Okay.
Yep. And that Giorgio
in a bit.
Giorgio can take some calm and rest his ribs.
Sweetheart, we're following the plot. We're at least 5 minutes into this session now.
We are
I mean, it
following
must
the
be
plot.
so easy to GM because you don't need to write very much each week.
No.
It's just
No, it's just enough to watch us wind us up and go.
yeah, it's just that breakfast took an hour and a half.
Right, I'm gonna.
We
I'll
put
be
the
back
bloody
in a sec.
box in. All right.
Yeah,
See you.
see you in a bit.
So I was thinking about what you said, Steve, with not knowing if your character had drunk the Berserker potion. And I haven't done anything yet, but I was toying with the idea of making the character grow a bit when they're on the potion, and then as it gets weaker, shrink them back down. What do you think?
Hello.
I
Hello.
will let you know. We told you from the start, Giorgio, it was going to be entertaining.
And you
We
didn't
neglected-
disappoint me.
We
Well,
neglected to mention the frustrating, though.
No, that's not frustrating.
the-
Hello, Fijuk.
Hello, Duke.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, and it's true. If you see the game that's we're playing on the Saturday, or even the Cthulhu game, yeah, there is some humor there, but we take the scenario very seriously. We take the characters very seriously. It's quite intense. Humor is almost used as a way of trying to alleviate the stress, particularly Cthulhu, because that's quite stressful.
It's just going to get more stressful.
It's going to get more stressful. See if this had been sold as, serious scenario, big epic campaign, there would be a very different tone. But we all kind of went into this saying, right, this is just going to be a light change of scene, 6-7 weeks, and sort of as a palate cleanser from Cthulhu. And we're all just running with it, and we're enjoying it immensely.
7 weeks of aching ribs. Laughing so much.
Yeah, that too. Also, I mean, that was the whole preface of this campaign.
Yeah.
Even the name, Magic County Chronicles. Like, come on,
Yeah.
how serious can it be? How serious can it be?
And we're and the thing is, if we weren't enjoying it, if we weren't enjoying the game, you wouldn't have the vibe that you're getting. You only get this kind of energy if people are actually up for it. That's the great thing about it.
And I'm so glad for it.
Because I've ran games or I've ran sessions where the players are really just not into it at all, and trying to get some energy in is damn near impossible at times. But yeah, we're all enthused. We're enjoying it immensely.
Have you tried being a better GM?
I was so waiting for this to come.
He's not going to get the Sue White reference, babe.
I know, if that was a reference.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Way
sort
over
of
my
was, the accent was, but that was about it. It was a kind of a
the choice of
deviation
wording.
of a deviate, yeah.
There was a reference there too for people who've watched Green Wing.
Oh, I haven't seen that for a long
Yeah,
time.
this
That
this,
was
ju- this
funny.
junior doctor's really stressed and goes and sees Sue White, who's head of staff liaison. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so stressed." And she's like, "Oh, have you tried not being stressed?" I find that would really, really benefit you and do a lot of good.
Yeah, that was a fantastic show. I love that.
I think I watched.
Unfortunately, I missed that.
It's
I
worth
think
a
I
watch.
watched one episode of it. It was Channel 4, wasn't it?
No. Oh, Channel 4,
No.
yes. Sorry, I missed
Yeah,
that.
I miss so much sort of 80s and 90s kind of shows on Channel 4. Or was it
2000s? It was
2000s?
definitely 2000s. I
I missed
remember
them.
because my parents were quite strict with what I was allowed to watch, but weirdly they let me watch that, and I was like 14.
I missed so much because yeah.
Can you repeat the name of the show again that Fijuk is asking?
Yeah, I'm just getting up one of the little
Green Wing.
sketches. Yeah,
Green
Regional
Wing.
Accents is a good one. scene right here.
All right. So I'm loading the URL so I can watch it later.
Okay.
So, by the way, as we said, you crawled into this barrow, into this tunnel, only to find this weird-looking town with weird-looking fountains and water and whatsoever. You're basically at the entrance of this town.
Mhm.
There is a lot of humanoids going around for their business, talking to each other. Bish Bash Bosh, actually, you understand what they're saying
Oh,
because apparently they're talking Gnomish.
oh, I understand them. I wonder if they're gnomes.
Oh dear
Are
God.
they?
Have we all
Oh,
died
sorry.
and gone to Bish Bash Bosh's version of hell?
Are they gnomish height?
Yes.
Mm.
They look slightly different than you, though, because you're all so lively and enthusiastic. While you see that their hair look between black, some gray or white, some others. Their skin tends to be really pale. Some of them
Oh,
just plain white, some of them gray, some of them light violet, maybe.
so they're not
They're blood
half-orc
gnomes.
gnomes then like I am. They're the other gnomes. We
They're
have to kill them
garden
all. They're
gnomes.
fascists.
Oh no.
They're terrible people. We have to kill them all.
There's no
We're not
place like
killing them
there's-
all. Look, there's
there's
loads.
no place like gnome.
We can't just kill them. Perhaps that's the mistake we made last time.
They're not good gnomes. I've heard stories, you know.
Well, most of us aren't gnomes, so we'll be fine.
That they're nasty and cruel and wicked.
So you want us to kill them all?
On sight, yes.
So
I
you're saying you
sighed
don't?
and-
You want them to be no more?
I
Hang on.
sigh
Oh,
and
for
Let
fuck's
me-
sake!
Let-
Come on, I was dying. That was just set up for that.
Let me listen to what they're saying. Maybe it'll give us some clues.
So, Becky, you try to listen closely to the closest gnomish people, and they're basically talking about how dull their life is, how stupid their boss is, how tired they are all the time of this kind of work that they're doing. They're basically complaining.
Okay. Well, basically, he's got no mates, and that one's got no mates. They're miserable.
I'm still heading towards the fountain to have a look at it.
So,
Perhaps we could help them out and win their favor.
They've got a boss. We need to find out who their boss is. I suggest we try talking and then kill them on sight.
Yes, but according to the Idiot's Guide to Adventuring, I believe that you don't meet the boss until at the very end.
Yes, you have to go through several different encounters. One a puzzle, one a puzzle, a fight.
well,
Chase.
for sure you skip the riddles. Did I manage to shut you up, Becky?
Is a riddle a puzzle?
No. No.
Okay, so one of the things there must be a riddle which we've done. Because that was for the main quest, thinking that there was a 1, 2, 3 we had to do first, but there wasn't. So that was the riddle. Right. And then the puzzle. Oh, that would be the sign over the fox and the badger. We had to, right, yeah, so that's the puzzle. And we did the fight against the orcs. So that
And the
guy there
kobolds.
must be the boss.
What about the kobolds? We've done 2
It was an
fights.
extra fight because the quest was stretching itself.
But that's duplication.
Fuck off.
Right.
Oh, God.
Well, right. We're here now. We're going to have to.
Let's talk to one.
Let's
All
free
right.
these people. And
You
make
go.
them
Hello,
Sorry.
cousins. I say in Gnomish.
So, in order, because also Jason and Phil said that they were going to do something. So, Jason, you said you're going to the fountain. Is that
Yeah, I want
correct?
to have a look at it, look at the water, examine it a bit, see if it's got a nice fancy plaque.
I'd ask you to roll for me a nature check,
A nature check.
please and thank
Okay.
you.
That is a 14.
Right. Then also roll for me a perception check, please.
Uh-huh. That is an 18.
All right. So, as for your nature check, I mean, you studied a little bit of magic, a little bit of arcana, also a little bit of science, because old magic tends to have an influence of on the natural world. What you can easily assume is that somehow you're actually walking on the roof of this cave.
Okay.
So the water is technically going on the floor of the cave. As for your perception check, you see that there is a little bit of some sort of, how do you say that? Copper plaque on the fountain that says donated to main quest. That is basically what you see of fancy of this fountain. As for the rash, you said you were looking for the mayor.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Taymond into the town. But my goal is not to look at the fountain particularly, but trying to help these people. They're obviously being oppressed here, and we want to free them and give them a better life. Maybe even let them outside.
Darash the activist.
I'm going to head over to the fountain where my compatriot.
Your
happens to
half
be.
compatriot.
Well, you know, I wasn't going to get technical with the percentages. I was just.
All right. So you're walking with Taymond and Talathol towards the fountain, and you see that, Darash, this is a general feeling of the population. You don't speak Gnomish, do you?
No.
All right. So it is all about sensation and posture and voice tone, but you happen to understand, maybe believe, that all the people that you encountered so far have this sort of gloomy mood on them. They are a little bit blue, well, no, not literally. But on the other side of the square where the fountain is, you can read in different alphabets. You assume the first one is Gnomish, the second one is definitely Elvish, while the third one is common that says Main Quest Town Hall.
That's a bloody obvious signpost, isn't it?
I think the boss could be over there in that building. It's very nice to label everything for us.
And just as a player, I have to say, I'm glad that the gnomes aren't actually blue. It's bad enough we're dealing with a whole town full of gnomes. I'm not dealing with a town full of Smurfs. Not doing it, not having it. No.
As per Bish Bash Bosh, you were going to talk to people like generally.
Well, the two that were miserable that I overheard listening to them.
So you're talking to them in Gnomish, I assume.
Hello, cousins.
Why, hello. I'm Bart. He's Bart. Who are you?
I'm Bish Bash Bosh. I'm from the gnomish peoples who correctly name us all in 3 syllables. We heard that you guys only use single syllables and are evil. Is that true?
Well, some of us maybe, but like every place has some. How do you say that? Rotten apples?
Well, if you keep the rotten apples separate from the good ones, then they won't spoil the good ones. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was curious, where is the hole in the water? Why do people lose their memory after visiting here? And why are you all so miserable, and who's your boss? Also, are there any married owlbears around here?
Oh God, so many questions, so little will to answer all of them. Oh. So, first one, I don't know.
What was the first question again? I forgot what I asked.
You asked what the hole in the water was.
Oh, okay.
That's why we left, because you're all so energetic that you lose track even of your own thoughts. Why we are miserable. I mean, wouldn't you? I mean, you wouldn't, but some of us would. Who's our boss? That's tricky, because do you mean my work boss? Or like the mayor? Or like the king? Who you're talking about?
Okay. So I've just got a few questions. Where's the hole in the
More
water?
questions, come on.
Who's your
What a
boss?
drag.
And I've forgotten the rest.
Something about owlbears.
Oh,
As I
is there a married owlbear? Or two?
Yeah, I was about to say they can't marry. They can't marry themselves. There would have to be at least 2 of them.
all right. So
I mean, they could be progressive. I mean, they might be in a polyamorous owlbear relationship and have a few, and be all married. But you've got to be at least 2 of them.
So who are bosses? I don't understand what you're asking for.
Are you asking for my? A moment ago.
Yeah, you're talking about our work boss, our mayor, and our king. They're all our bosses.
Let's go for work boss, mayor, and king.
All right. So our work boss is called Dirk.
Okay, he's
we are miners.
Miners. Okay.
Is he quite daring?
Do you speak Gnomish?
No.
Okay. So.
Our mayor is called Shane.
another gnome, so it can't be that one.
And our king is called John Smith.
Not a gnome. Wait, that's the same king I've got.
That's a king of a whole kingdom.
Yes.
So that's our king too. Yay, we got something in common. Yay.
No, we're talking in gnomish. Now, so I just have a few questions. Where's the hole in the
About-
water?
So that was subtle. It took me a second to actually get that one.
Are
That
you
was
for
good.
real? Have you been diagnosed with ADHD, perhaps? I don't know what a hole in the water is. And to answer another question before you forget that too, we don't know about married owlbears. What kind of question is that?
Okay, I've got that. So, who's your boss?
Of course, the rest of us are just watching this conversation, this sort of back and forth, this verbal tennis.
I'm not.
And oh, can you understand Gnome?
No.
I don't believe any one of you can.
No.
It looks like an interesting conversation.
It does, except the one she's talking to doesn't look interested at all, and she seems to be interested for both of them.
I am very much trying to ignore it, frankly.
Well, it seems like we're going to need Bish Bash Bosh to translate for us if we want to talk to these people.
Well,
After
yes,
some
but
time,
That could be
I come
interesting.
away from that conversation and return to the party. Okay.
we are standing on a ceiling.
As long as we're not dancing on it.
That is the floor. We are upside down.
Yes. But that makes the ceiling the floor and the floor the ceiling, so
What a
we're on the
feeling.
floor. Anyway,
Yes,
I
but the
learned a
point
lot from that
is,
conversation, but I've forgotten
this.
it all.
I gesture to the fountain. This should not be happening.
Yes, it should.
None of this
It's
should be
going
happening.
downwards. We're just upside down.
Why does the water fall and not us then?
Because the water's flowing downwards.
This is an
Anyway,
interesting point, actually.
are we going to go to the main hall? Because it says on that plaque just over there, look.
Oh yes, this place
quest,
is
isn't
apparently
it?
called Main Quest. This whole place.
Oh. For the main quest. So it's the only one.
Yes. This town is called Main Quest.
Right.
So there's only one. All right.
Oh, I remembered something. They have the same king.
What, John Smith?
Yes.
Oh, that's
I'm
convenient.
Sure they do. He is a king.
Oh, and they mine. So careful where you step.
Interesting.
Oh.
I head
That
to the main
really
hall
hurts my mamma mia.
with the intent
oh.
to order something strong.
And I found something out about the owlbears.
What's that? What?
They
That's
don't know anything.
Well, the owlbears don't know anything.
No, these people.
so the
They don't
owlbears
know.
are-
They don't know that the owlbears don't know anything.
No, these people don't know anything about the owlbears.
Oh, so they don't know if the owlbears don't know anything or not.
I'm off. I'm going.
I'm getting a headache.
Me too.
So what's your plan now
We're
that...
going to go to the town hall.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
All right.
Or slightly more accurately, we're going to follow Bish Bash Bosh because she's going to have to do all the talking. Unless they
Right.
start speaking in a language we all understand.
That could leave us in trouble.
So basically, you enter the town hall that is open to the public.
In answer to Fajuk, what race everyone is, Bish Bash Bosh is a gnome, Darish is a human,
Half orc.
half orc, Taymond is half elf, and I'm the 100 meters. That's the race I am.
Literally.
No, I'm playing an elf.
No, figuratively.
As I was saying, the town hall is open to the public, and there is, of course, people going in and out of different rooms, or what you may believe are offices of sorts. But in the middle of this hall, there is a desk with a gnomish, you assume, woman standing behind it, just minding her own business.
Hello, cousin.
She looks at the whole lot of you and says, hello.
We're looking
Do-
for a
do
hole in the
you-
water.
Do you want me to speak common?
No.
Yes. Please, if you could.
All right, welcome to main quest. Come posso... how I can help you?
We're looking for a hole in the water and some married owlbears.
Better
And
you
just
speak to mayor.
right.
That's
And
acceptable.
just to be sure, we don't want part of the owl or half the owl. We want the whole owl.
I don't understand.
That's all right. I'm sure the mayor will.
You're not missing much.
Oh,
I don't understand either. What
Where
don't
is
I
your mayor,
understand?
please?
one seconds. 1 second. She stands up from her chair and starts heading upstairs. After you say 5 to 10 minutes, she's back in front of you. The mayor receives you now
Ah,
up.
very good.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Right.
What was his name?
Oh, somebody told me that. I've forgotten.
What's the name of the mayor? Make it so we can make it a bit more, What's his
I
name?
don't. Mayor
Yeah.
Shane.
Mayor Shane. Yeah.
That's a Shane.
It's a crying Shane. Yeah.
Don't.
We're underground and the sun don't shine down here.
It don't. No.
Don't. Please don't.
Shane on
Either
half a
way,
spoon.
I assume you head upstairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Unless he
it's
takes us
not
prisoners and ties us up in chains.
I mean, at this rate, you just might with you.
That's,
and that's all
this-
for this week's session of Magic the Chronicles.
there's the guy trying to run a game. Shame on all of you.
Oh,
We're all in on it now. It's gotten it's a pile on
Either
now.
way, it's pretty easy to find the
Okay.
office room of the mayor because as outside it has a sign with 3 different languages in front of it. So you got Gnomish, Elvish, and Common that says mayor. The door is open, and you see these pretty old looking gnome sitting behind the desk. A very worn out desk and chair with a lot of papers on it. He has got a long beard that you assume is long in comparison to his height because it reaches almost his knees.
He looks
It's
like
like
a Smurf.
it's like a short dwarvish beard, but a long gnomish beard. He's totally bald and dressed in clothes that look a little bit better than just rags. It's not that fancy as you would expect from a mayor or a prince or whatever. So you are the foreigners.
oh, we,
No,
that right?
Hello, cousin.
we are some foreigners, yes.
I don't believe I am your actual cousin, but
She seems to be saying that to all the gnomes here. I apologize.
yeah, that's racist.
We're a very inbred race.
She's very excited to be here.
Yeah, so we
Or
are
any-
to
or
have
anywhere,
you
apparently.
here. How
She's
can I
not
help
meaning
you?
anything wrong with it.
We're looking for a couple of things.
Yes, my lord, we are here on behalf of the king.
Mm.
He has asked us to seek out a hole in the water.
What?
A hole in the water. A bit like your fountain, except it is upside down for some reason.
Look, we think maybe it's something that was maybe lost in translation. That
No.
it got translated badly into common as hole in the water.
No, you
For all
think
I
that.
know-
I think it's a hole in the water.
As I say, there's some translation issues.
Also,
I mean-
why don't you turn your village the right way up? Because I think all the blood's gone to your head and now you're sad. You've too much blood. You should try leeching.
The town
Another
is
character
way.
another character in a different game is writing down all the diplomatic things he's going to have to do.
Well, the town is designed like this because most people, when they see everything upside down, they just feel sick, like seasick. So they just don't come here. This didn't happen to you. I don't know why. I don't really care, to be honest. But it works most of the time.
Do you know some married owlbears?
Did I grant you an appointment for you to ask me nonsensical questions?
Okay, but I have another question. Do
Oh,
you know
God.
any married owlbears?
No, I do not. What kind of question is that?
Well, I don't know. I forgot what I asked.
Well, we are looking for 2 owlbears, and they apparently possess a ring.
You see, if you phrased the question this way, this would have sounded slightly more likely to be as a circumstance. You mean all bears with a ring? They may have killed the possessor of the ring. They may found a trinket that they like to play with. I don't know. They are stupid creatures. But married owlbears, like, they're
Well,
beasts.
our theory is that they used to be men, or elves,
Ooh.
or what have you.
How do you say that up on the surface? That's fucked up.
Just a tad, yes.
You said also about a hole in the water. I mean, I heard, because I haven't been in Kurt for years now, that this John Smith King is, you could say, uh, eclectic in his askings uh, to his people, but asking for a couple of married owlbears and a hole in the water, that's something I wouldn't have expected. Uh, do you have any hints where to find this hole?
In this cave?
Yeah, we were directed here.
In this cave?
I turn to Gary and say, he apparently came here a while ago and also tried to find a hole in the water, but he was unsuccessful and lost his memory.
And no, Steve, I don't think the owlbears are that kind of fans of rings.
Well, I never met this. What are you, an halfling? I never met this halfling before. Well, not personally. Maybe someone in town did.
What
There
if
are
you've lost
different.
your memory?
There are different entrances to this cave, and I don't know what pointed you here. I don't don't care, to be completely honest with you. But if you're looking for a large amount of water, I can point you to the inner lake,
Oh,
deeper inside of this cave. I mean, it's not much, but it's more than you can find in the fountain
sounds
in the town square.
promising, certainly.
I mean, please be considerate of the lake and its surroundings while you're going there, because it is our sacred lake. So don't do anything strange or ill-willed to the waters and anything surrounding it. Please and thank you.
Very well.
What's wrong? What's wrong with her?
Okay, just a couple of questions.
Oh,
Do you
Faraz
know where
Nafri.
there's a hole in the water? And have you seen some married owlbears?
Perhaps you should write these down, Bish Bash Bosh, and he can answer them in his own time.
Oh, and then tie them to a badger.
Yes, he could tie them to a badger. Don't ask.
Don't
Great idea.
don't pull on that thread.
I apologise.
Not going to.
Our gnome appears to be broken.
Yeah, like every surface gnome.
I'm not a surface gnome, I'm an umbral gnome. I live under the ground.
Are you sure you are? Doesn't
Yes.
look like it.
Yes.
Well, she has been on
Did
the
you
surface
hit your
for a while.
head on
Maybe
a
she had
boulder?
tan.
Yes.
Oh, that explains it. That explains it. I'm sorry. Is there anything else I can do to help you in your next endeavors?
Oh, there is one thing. Do you have the sequel to The Idiot's Guide to Adventuring?
I believe that's only available for pre-order.
Oh,
No, we actually ran out.
It's called The Idiot's Guide
Um,
to Losing More Money.
No, it was the Moron's Guide to Adventuring. It was a bestseller here.
Question, on the map, did that mark where the Bugbear's cave was again? I can't remember.
No, because they don't know.
Okay.
Nor
No,
Gary, nor anybody you talk to.
Yep.
Mm.
Cool. Just double checking.
Oh, well, I think he's given us directions to a lake.
Yes, an inner lake. You are not going to jump in it, and you are not going to throw anything into it.
Why would I do that? It's a water source.
You are not going to drink from it either.
But that's why you don't do the other things. Cholera, you know?
Yeah, but it's their sacred lake, so we have to respect their wishes in this one.
So they don't drink it until it comes out the fountain.
I wonder what you're going to say for a minute.
So, Darash, in order to explain a little further for the things that you asked before entering the town hall, basically, also all the other people in the actual town hall, mayor included, seem to be gloomy. Given the fact of how different they look from Bish Bash Bosh, you may believe that is actually part of their general behavior. I mean, that's a possible explanation because everybody here is like having the worst day of his life.
It's because they don't put bells on their feet.
See, I have a great idea. I think we should find a petrification spell, freeze them all, and then sell them as lawn ornaments.
What if they melt again?
Then we can repetrify them and sell them somewhere else. Instant more money. I mean, this is the way to do it.
So why are you all so gloomy here? What is the what is the problem? Do you not like it here?
I mean, I guess.
Nice place to visit.
It's because they don't put bells on their socks.
That's also one of the ways, one of the reasons that we left the surface. It is too noisy, too lively, too ill-timed
Interesting.
sometimes.
So
No, I really am not from the surface.
you're all
Well,
so
you came from there. You didn't come from here.
That's because
you
I'm
come from the
adventuring.
Yeah, right.
you're all so glum. Are you sure you're not cursed or something?
What they need is some sort of strong herb.
I mean, we got our monthly rituals by the lake. That's why we want it to be.
Does that involve sacrifices?
No, on the contrary.
What
Okay,
It
exactly?
it involves booze, weed,
Oh, you
orgies.
do have herbs and condoms as well, apparently.
No, gnomes always give birth through orgies like that. That's how it works. I have no idea who my dad is. The whole tribe.
And you do this once a month, you say?
Yeah,
Well,
as you could say,
that's why they're so pent up in my
a
community. It's every
coping
week.
mechanism.
Yes, a month does seem quite a long time.
Perhaps you should make it fortnightly.
Yeah, but we need to retrieve the booze from somewhere because we are not able to make that much.
Oh, I'm surprised. Seems like a suitable temperature to brew beer down here.
Plenty of
Or
water.
wine.
Yeah,
Whatever.
unfortunately, the water is not good in taste. I mean, it's good for drinking because it doesn't make you sick or ill, but all the fermentation that you do with it tastes like shit afterwards. So we sell part of the weed and then get back alcohol from it.
Wow, no drug dealers.
Well, we exchange goods. We could put it that way. Do you want some?
No,
I got some.
I've been here 10 minutes. I'm already getting depressed.
Suit yourself.
Perhaps later, my lord.
Yeah.
As you see fit, adventurers.
Yes, we are. We're on a quest.
You said that already.
So
We
Do
are
you
the-
need some sort of indications to reach the lake? It's pretty easy. You just have to follow the path leading out from the town.
Okay.
It's not really anywhere else to go.
all right then, let's do it. Just one more question. Do you
I
know
don't
where
know
we
of
could find
any arbors. No, I do not.
a hole in the water?
Do you answer a question or do you want to?
Let's
All right.
let's go. Let's go.
Enough questions. He's very busy.
And clearly short-tempered.
All right.
Yes, all
Very
gnomes are
shame.
tempered that way.
Hey, it's taken me the entirety of our stay in main quest for me to come up with a height joke for gnomes.
Just
They-
don't. Please don't.
Now you've done it, you're okay to go.
Well, I mean, I had a whole load of them. Well, I thought I would be able to come up with a whole load of them, but I came up short.
You'll lose your opportunity to do any more shortly.
So,
Should we follow the
by any
path?
chance, are you actually just leaving for the lake,
Yeah.
or you want
Yeah.
to do something in town first?
No, these people are too
No, we're-
depressing.
No.
Let's head to the lake.
Yeah, they seem to have chosen this, and they seem to be.
I mean, I can't claim that they're happy with it because clearly they're not happy.
Still,
I mean,
something interesting is that the fountain in the middle was donated. So I'd be interested
It
to know
was?
who the donor was. Yes, donated.
Might
to
say
the
on the
town.
might say on the plaque.
Well, it doesn't. That's the point.
I wonder if it was the king.
What? Who's?
Let's ask someone.
Probably should have asked the mayor, frankly, but never mind.
If you remember, you can ask him when you come back.
Yeah, or I try and catch the female gnome downstairs.
Yeah.
And ask her.
She's still there.
I just turn to Bishop Bosch and look sternly and say, "Can you ask her who donated the fountain to the town?"
In Normish.
Hello, cousin.
Hello again.
Who donated the fountain to the town?
You mean the fountain outside?
Do I?
Yes.
I don't know. You're asking about the fountains that is in the square outside of the hall.
Yeah.
Was I?
Yes.
I don't know. You were asking the question. How am I supposed to know? This is
I thought you
when
were asking me
going
which one.
full philosophical.
No, I'm confused. Let me try again. What was I asking? Oh, yes. Do you know where we could find a hole in the wall? No, I've asked that. Raymond, what was your question?
The fountain over there, who donated it?
Oh, the fountain over there. Who donated it?
A dwarvish tribe. They kept buying a lot of our weed. They didn't have enough dwarvish beer to sell back. So with the beer came the fountain.
Oh, so basically some dwarvish junkies.
I'm sorry, Becky.
I'm explaining to Taman. Dwarvish junkies. They couldn't afford to pay the bill any other way, so they built a fountain. Anyway, should we go to a lake?
Sure.
Or at least we know where the beer comes from.
Makes sense.
So Steve, basically, Jason is playing a rogue. Ronnie is playing a ranger, while Phil is playing a champion, which is basically the paladin, and Bishbash Bosch is playing a barbarian. They retrieved an NPC who was a cleric, and that's the full party of mishaps in place. So are you actually leaving for the lake, or is there anything else you want to do before getting depressed and start cutting yourself?
I think,
Like an emo kid.
I think
You're
we're
going to the
heading
lake.
Yeah, I
Go to the
think we
lake
should.
before
I
I
think we
start
should.
listening to placebo.
Yeah.
I have trouble hearing you, Becky. I'm sorry.
Let's go to the lake before I start listening to placebo.
What's wrong with placebo?
Have we just stumbled upon the biggest placebo fan or something?
No, not biggest fan, but I get they're fucking depressing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I mean,
Either way, you start walking across on this path that the mayor told you about, and that also ends up in some sort of tunnel in which you have to crawl in order to get to the other side. When you are able to stand up back again outside of this tunnel, you see this enormous lake on the other side with a tiny bit of mist coming from it. There is really no vegetation. It's all rocks and nimbles, etc. Some dried logs. You don't know where that come from or what they use that for. But
is this? I was just going to ask: is this clearer? Because my sound was set up wrong. Can you hear me better?
Yes.
I'm hearing you higher, which is a big plus.
Yeah, no, it was it somehow switched to the webcam microphone, which are these tiny little low quality mics. So sorry about that.
Yeah, don't worry. I just didn't want to miss something like I want to hit him in the face again. So I was asking again if I got correctly what you said. But as you get closer and closer to the shore of the lake, you see a tiny, tiny, tiny bubbling coming from not that far from you, while you feel some sort of presence like grasping your brain. And I do believe that's when we resume for the final chapter of Magic County Chronicles next week. If you're cool with that.
Final chapter.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, we all lose our memories and we forget that we forget about the next chapter. We forget to show
Well,
up.
I'm not forgetting that I want to play Kenya. So I believe that's going to be that's
you
going to
want
be
to
the
play
end of
Kenya.
the, yeah.
Don't you mean Kenya's going to play you?
Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Either way, I really hope that you enjoyed today's session. Hopefully,
cheeks hurt, yeah.
the conclusion would be at the height of the standards that we managed to create so far. Also, I hope you, Steve, and Fijuk, and everyone listening enjoyed it.
The only
Please.
problem, the only problem with the height standard thing is that people are looking at the height that we've reached with this, and there are limbo dancers around the world saying "fuck that." Just no.
All right. So thank you again for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in Thursday for Prize Fighter and Saturday for another game that I don't recall. What is it?
Dune.
Dune.
It's Dune. All right.
Yeah.
I knew that, but I didn't recall if that was still on or if you changed it.
No.
Either way,
No.
Still on at the moment.
Lots of backstabbing and paranoia.
Yeah.
oh wow,
Loads of
so
paranoia.
relaxing.
And at least one person just wants to nuke the lot of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ronnie.
Decided now to nuke your own city.
Don't put that on me.
You came round to it. You know my rational thinking approach to it has come up with the best solution, and that is to nuke ourselves.
What's good about being a doctor is I can just keep completely neutral.
We've decided the best way to beat the game is suicide.
No. I
haven't
was very
decided
clear
anything.
that we encourage our people to build nuclear shelters first. Then we nuke the place. And
I'm
then
just
blame it
giving-
on the enemy. Then that
Yes.
way we've got evidence that they've attacked because they nuked
Yes.
us.
Right. The
Turns
other
the
thing
galaxy
is
against us. It's perfect.
the other thing is we weren't meant to be discussing this in front of the GM in case we give them ideas.
Oh yeah.
That's the wrongest move you could have done.
We don't want to give the GM any ideas.
They do it all the time.
We make that mistake in Cthulhu every week.
Thank you, Stephen Fugue. Love
Yes.
both you guys. I will look at the Discord in a moment, Steve. Thank you.
All
See you
right.
later,
Thank you
Stephen.
again for watching. See you next week.
Bye.